Yeah, I'm not aware of any other Confederate monuments. We've asked the Parks Director that question. He said he's not aware of a Confederate monument that's out there.
And the street sign?
I think the street sign is down in the Forest Park Master Plan. You may know this, which was put in place many years ago. It has always been the plan to actually remove Confederate Drive. Confederate Drive is a little tiny street, not even a block long, and so it will likely be, that drive will likely be removed.
Because if we remove it from people's sight, then it'll be automatically erased from the history books, right, Mayor Cruson? That was part of the mayor's news conference earlier today, discussing the settlement agreement with the Civil War Museum folks. And Mark Trout, the head of the museum, is joining us right now on the phone. Mark, thanks for getting back with us.
Oh, no problem at all.
We appreciate that. So, a settlement agreement. This came around quickly.
Yes, it did come around rather quickly. I'm actually out here at the site right now, out here all day, overseeing the removal of the monument. So we're disassembling as we speak.
So when you and I talked about this the other day, obviously the cost of moving it was still an issue, but this agreement says you got to have it gone in about a week. How did you come up with the funding that quickly?
Well, just like a lot of not-for-profit organizations, a lot of times we work on a promise and a handshake.
Okay, sure.
And so we worked that all out with our contractors. These are our contractors here at the site, not the city contractors. And really our number one goal here is to have this monument completely removed. We'll probably have it removed, depending on weather here, probably in the next couple of days. We'll start removing a couple of pieces today. And, weather dependent here, we should have it completely removed from Forest Park probably Thursday, Friday at the latest, depending on weather. We're trying to beat this storm that's supposedly forecast later. Yeah,
sounds like the city, they kind of got what they wanted out of it because it's going to be out of their site. And part of this agreement agrees that it won't be in the city or the county. So you won't be able to show it down at Jeff Barracks. You're going to have to place it elsewhere, I'm assuming?
Right. It's always been our intention to, this is a substantial monument, and it needs to go to a substantial place. And it's always been our intentions to find a home for it at a Civil War battlefield here, preferably here in Missouri, or Civil War-related cemetery, or maybe even a Civil War museum site. So those are the three areas that we're focusing on. The number one, goal here is to get it out of the harm's way here, get it out of the city park. We'll put it in protective storage where some of the restoration work can begin shortly. The bronze relief work by Zolny himself, that will be shipped out and to one of the sculptors to get the chemical staining off of it and renew it and make it look like it was the day that Zolny put it in, 100 years ago.
Right.
So there's some other maintenance issues on it, and of course some of the vandalism, but there's nothing here that cannot be corrected.
Well, that's good because I know they did spray paint it and did their best to try to do damage to it while it was there. Do you have a dollar amount on what it's going to end up costing you to move it?
Well, we know, we're probably going to be close to six figures removing it. We've raised, just in the last several weeks, we raised probably a third of that just on the preservation fund. So if anybody does want to help, that's the number one way they can help is go to the museum's website at mcwm.org, and you'll see the banner there. To click on that, you'll go to the preservation fund page and explains this project as well as several other projects that the museum's involved in. But that's the number one way they can help is making a tax-deductible contribution to the cause.
Well, I know that you're happy that you're probably happy from the standpoint that you've gained control of this thing. Does it still sadden you that this effort is to try to erase this from memory? That's what they wanted.
It's there's my number one view was always that when these monuments do get placed, they should never be really tampered with. But, I've always have respected the city's right. It's their park. It's not a Civil War battlefield. It's not a Civil War cemetery. And, I believe a great thing can happen out of this. This monument will be placed in the appropriate setting where it can be admired, it can be learned from, it can be interpreted, and its true meanings of what it means and its symbolism and so forth. So there's definitely a better site out there for this and other ones. I hope more than anything that this serves as an example nationwide to other places such as New Orleans and other ones where they have taken these monuments down or want to take these monuments down. I hope this is a learning experience and a great example that, 99% of the folks out here, they don't want these things destroyed. They just want them maybe put into the proper context and put into the proper site. And this way, with these other cities, maybe can look here at St. Louis and say, here's what we can do. If New Orleans does not want General Beauregard's sculpture, well, why don't you send that over to Fort Sumter where he ordered the first shot fired on him? If you didn't want Robert E. Lee down there, well, don't leave him out there in the back of the Public Works yard. Why don't you give him to Appomattox or give him to Gettysburg so it can be there? So there's appropriate places for this to take them and send them out into the back of Public Works yards and hold them kind of hostage, and hopefully people forget about them. That's not the way to go. The way to go is to find organizations or find museums or historic sites where these can go and really, kind of highlight these moments in our nation's history, good or bad. This is, no matter which way you look at it, the American Civil War is the number one historic topic in America. It is the defining moment of our nation's history. And there's so much to be learned from this. And, there's some folks that just get the wrong idea of what some of these monuments mean. And that's in the right historical setting. We can teach them that, and we can show the interpretation of it and what these icons and these memorials truly mean. So
you should have plenty of options in Missouri. Correct me, and I know you'll correct me if I'm wrong because you know the history far better than I do. But didn't Missouri have like the second most skirmishes in the country during the Civil War?
Most.
Third most. Okay.
In Tennessee, right? There's well over 1,000, engagements here in the state of Missouri. So finding a battlefield probably is not a difficult thing here in the state of Missouri.
Yeah.
I just hope we can get this placed in the right place, and we will. And that's the thing I can guarantee the folks here in St. Louis. We will take care of this. It's in great hands. So I do applaud the mayor's office and City Hall for ending this like they did and turning it over to us. And people will look back, and when they see this at a new site in the years to come, in the right context, in the right atmosphere, it is going to be a great example of what we can do with them.
Very good. Mark Trout, thanks so much for giving us some time and explaining it. Best of luck with that move.
Thank you very much. And like I said, your folks can go to our website, mcwm.org, and learn more information about what we're trying to do. And I will direct them there. We'll put it on our website. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, Mark, thank you. Glad to get him on here. Like you said, he was down there in the park next to this thing. If you go to MCWM, Missouri Civil War Museum, mcwm.org, you'll see the preservation link right there on the main page, and you can go there and just select the amount that you want to donate and put it in your cart if that's something you want to do. I'm not telling you have to. They're about a third of the way to where they need to be. They've got somebody who's agreed to go ahead and move it, and they'll worry about the money later. But in the meantime, they're going to have to raise some cash to get this thing out of there. Good for him. He was very generous in his praise of the city. I think somebody made the city aware that they were going to lose in court, and they wanted to go ahead and cut their losses and reach this agreement. That's what I think happened, personally. Just my 2 cents. All right, good.